speak. But just know that if we do have any issues, it's not my fault, basically. Okay, just have to just bear with me on that till I get this Fox gets his router back up and running, etc. Okay, so hassle, it's taking its time, but anyway, whatever. That seems to be a normal story. Okay,
Okay,
guys, anyway, morning all. Thanks very much, Clinton.
no
And
problem.
yeah, great
Enjoy the
stuff.
TR.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Right, we will start up as nine as usual. Just want to mention that my name is Roger, Quick Trade Support. Couple of new names there, just so you know. Probably know it already, but just in case. Don't forget, as always, this is a forum. It's not a class like Forex class or whatever. It's a forum where those who've already been to platform training, done a couple of classes, have some idea what a lot size is, and in other words, you've got to know the basics before you start putting that knowledge into practice, which we can expand on in the trading room here, where we look for trading ideas, we discuss them amongst ourselves. Anything you're not sure of, you can ask. Keep a pen and paper handy to jot stuff down, and yeah. Don't expect just to sit back and hope that it's going to sink in. You need to interact and ask if you're not sure. If you don't ask, I'll assume you already know. And clearly, if you don't know, and I assume that, well, you're not going to pick up stuff. We discuss ideas, we discuss fundamentals, things like that. If we go a bit quick, some guys have done this before. Just say, hang on, run that by them again. I'm new here or whatever. But it's vital, vital, vital you interact and make sure you understand. Okay. Right. It's another couple of minutes to go to 1:30 so we can get started, and then we can take it from there. Morning all. Okay, 1:30. We can get started. Just let Dion in. Don't forget, you can always unmute as well and interact verbally. Okay, good stuff. Just let the guys in now. Right, I'm just going to share the charts. Nearly forgot that. Beg your pardon. Hope you can see it okay. Just a few more people in there. Hope you can see it okay. Just have Brent up, by the by, to show how quiet the market is. Remember I mentioned yesterday Expect a quiet session today because it's a vital release. It's actually taken on, in some ways, more importance than non-farm payrolls, which used to be the biggest fundamental release of the month. I think I'm going to give this an A plus rating. Just let these guys in. Yeah. So bottom line is, you can see, I'm going to just zoom out a bit. You can see a bit clearer. Look at that. This is today's candle. Technically, you think we're waiting to break above here, which is done, to maybe buy it. Why haven't got a signal out for it? Well, because nothing's happening. I want to show you on the 4-hour chart exactly what I mean. That tells you everything, doesn't it? It's going nowhere. What does that tell you? The world's markets are very quiet at the moment. They're sitting on their hands. They're not taking big positions in either direction on any of the particular currencies because of this reason. Waiting for the 3:30 CPI release. Okay, so the chance of getting a trade that I'll sanction out this morning is not that high, to be quite honest. And if you do want to take one, bear in mind you can get lucky.
Morning,
you might
Raj.
get unlucky. Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. Go for it. Go for it. Go on, Jacob. Go. You've got the floor. Go for it. Jacob, go for it. Hello. Okay. Well, anyway. Hi, Chris. Okay. So where was I? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's great. We do have a trade out, and we got some a couple of days. I think it was last week, actually, Friday. Let's have a look.
Oh, yes. As I was saying,
yeah, go on.
My network was a bit unstable.
Okay.
I was actually talking about this Brent. It played out as we expected yesterday to 82. So I was asking if we should go further up with it or not.
Okay. Simple answer to that, Jacob, just mentioned there, is technically yes. What's actually happening in reality is nobody's trading it. Look at those candles. Look at the size of those candles. Do you see what I'm getting at there? Just give me a second. We're talking 24 cent, not dollar, cent range on a 4-hour chart. That tells you the volumes are tiny. People are not trading it. They're scared. Why are they scared? CPI. Simple as that. So I would say, if you want to go long on it, bear in mind it could come back and bite, or you could do very well. It's more luck than judgment if you go for it right now. So if you want to be prudent, leave it alone. If you want to take a chance, that's up to you. Okay, that's why I didn't get a trade out on Brent this morning for that reason, and that applies to most of the market. Let's look at the Euro USD. Not much difference. See what I mean? 4-hour chart. Range here, 12 pips. What the hell's 12 pips? Nada. You get the idea. Do you see what I'm getting? Why I'm saying that? Want you all to see why I'm saying that. Go back to Brent. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Does anyone not understand where I'm coming from? Why I suggest probably be more prudent to leave it. Are we all clear on that? It's no good me saying it if you don't understand why. Good stuff. Got to understand the explanation. That's pointless, obviously. Okay. Right. Go back. Good stuff. Thanks. Good stuff. That's why I need people to interact. Thank you. Right. Go to the economic calendar. A couple of stuff came out on the pound at 9. Earnings index slightly up. Claimant count change slightly down, slightly up, sorry. Employment change slightly down, not much in it. Unemployment rate 0.1% down, so not much in it. We got a CPI coming out on the purchase price index, 0.2 instead of 0.1, slightly better, not much in it. So pretty damn quiet. The chairman of the Swiss National Bank's guy called Thomas Jordan, not very Swiss name, I can get that, but anyway, that's what he is. And he's speaking just now, 9:45 or whatever. But whatever the case, we got that from a pound. We did get a little bit of a jump on that one. I'll be honest, I'm out of that. I got out down here. I'm on the 4-hour now. The trade came out. Bloody thing. Yeah, the trade came out. and it came down there and bounced, and I got out of it. So I'm out of that one. I'm still in it. And it's had a bit of a jump now on the information's come up 30 pips. Bit of resistance there. Will it continue? Who knows? It's basically in the hands of the gods at the moment. What is actually going to happen? It's nothing to do with technicals whatsoever. You look at all the double bottoms in the world, but it seems to be more alive so through the fundamental fear going out. Not fundamental news, but fundamental fear. When that occurs, it's pure guesswork. It's not much skill involved. This is not a game of blackjack where you're just taking a chance. The best thing to do is just stay away till you can get an edge and get a rationality and you get a reasonably backed up rational viewpoint. That's what I'm talking about here. At the moment, will it go further up or down? It's anybody's guess at this particular moment. Yeah, well, let's have a look. GBP CHF. Had a bit of a bounce up, more the pound than the Swiss franc. I think the Swiss franc just not that major difference. Try Swiss franc without the pounds. Let's have a look, probably a better idea. Euro CHF, go back to 15 minutes, see more clearer. Yeah, a little bit of weakness of Swiss franc maybe, but not. What's this doing? It's in about 7 minutes, 2 pips. Is that right? 2 bloody pips. I can't be right. Just a second. Yeah, 2 pips. And what the hell's that? Is that right? You're right, it is. 2 pips. It looks a lot on the chart, doesn't it? It's only 2 pips at squat. So it came out green. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter that. It depends on the effect it has on the market. As I say, it's peanuts. Been open 7 minutes, a 2 pip range. I mean, that's normal. So again, the big fear is not the Swiss franc. It's not the pound. It's the damn CPI. Okay. You had your stop loss there. I think the stop loss in the trade came out at a little bit higher than that. 23.10. But I think most guys are out of it. Should have modified the stop. Didn't quite get to 23.10. It's bounced up a bit there. But like myself, I saw the 4 hour and I saw that's quite a strong area of support or resistance in this case. And it bounced up and I got out actually. I just took it. So that's learning. You're keeping an eye on it. Okay, so yeah, so I'm out of that. Still in it. It should be still in. You can stop tap, probably a modified stop or whatever. Okay, where it's going to go from now? Will it pull back or not? It depends on anybody's guess. That's not. I can't give you. It's just anybody's guess. Simple as that. When these things occur, best just to be aware. It's no skill involved. It's anybody's guess. You might be a beginner and you go one way and the other guy might go the other way. One got lucky, one did not. That's not skill. Just remember that. You make stop lock close. That's fair enough. Fair enough, yeah. Okay, so yeah, what else can I say? Probably the same this morning. We can discuss stuff. But yeah. I think this one might come off a bit. I think this franc will be stronger. It might get up to this sort of area here. And then we can look to short it. I ain't buying the pound, send the Swiss franc. I'm not going to do anything with it at the moment. Just let it run. Okay. AUD, and that's been going on for a few days now. Anything happening there? I've almost forgotten about that guy. Where did we get in on that? 80, stop loss 80.70. That was still in it by the look of it, but it just popped up there for some reason. I don't think that knows either. So yeah, I just stay clean at the moment. Stay clear. Sit on the sidelines. If you find some, we'll certainly look at it, but have my doubts. So I'm going to back it up. It's affecting the whole market. It's not just the dollar. Remember that. Okay, I hope I made that completely clear. Not much more I can add on that. I think I spelled it out hopefully fairly clearly. It's a snooze fest, yeah. Slumber fest, snooze fest. You can look at that if you like, AUD. You can look at both if you like. AUD CHF. Let's zoom in a bit. Not much happening, see? Not much happening. 25 pip range over the last few days. I want to be on the short side. Yeah, if I was into this trade now, I'd be short. I have no problem with that, Caron Company, but I'm not going to because it's just all happening. You see, the thing is, when you get to trade, it's like getting on the road. You don't want to be in a traffic jam. You want to get moving. You're going away and you're excited. You finish work on a Friday, you're going away for the weekend. What do you want to do? You want an open highway, put the foot down and get to your destination. You don't want to be stuck in a bloody traffic jam, do you? No. So that's what's happening at the moment. So even if it does slide in your direction, do you want to sit in this with all the anxiety open trades do have on the psych when you're making 1 or 2 pips? You know, you need that to pay for your psychotherapist at the end of it. You get my point. Probably the same AUD CAD. Have a look. That's why no trades out yesterday and today, people are asking. If they attend the trading room, then they would learn the reasons why. Because I tell you right now, mistakes being made out there because guys are not attending the trading room and not getting the basics in order. And they're making unnecessary mistakes. Market, we cannot control. Other stuff we can. And they're making mistakes of things that can be controlled. Big difference. Okay, price action, lap of the gods, but we take a view on it, and often we are right. But sometimes when things happen like this, I just can't overstate. It's not in your control. Anything can happen. Right, let's have a look. What's happening on this one? Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Yeah, look at this. Can you see immediately what I'm on about? Is that giving you any action, guys? Look at that. 15 pips range on a 4-hour chart. What the heck is that? Hey, Gerard. Hey, Zeph. You've been in traffic now. Last 2 hours in traffic. How far have you traveled? 3 Ks. You're not a happy chappy. Hey, Zeph. You seem like a pleasing mannered guy, but I'm prepared to bet 3-4 hours making 3 Ks in traffic might exercise that patience of yours, my friend. Am I right? I'm on a bicycle to traffic, laugh out loud. Exactly. Yeah. Patient, easygoing, disciplined people crack at the sight of 3 hours doing 3 Ks in traffic. Yeah. The best go under in those stressful circumstances. Okay. Right, so there we are. You can see that's the range. Nothing's happening. Let's try something else just to really back it up. What about AUD USD? Anything happening there? Oh, getting some action here. I think it's a bit. What's this now? Oh, 17 pips. My goodness. My heart is palpitating with excitement. You get the idea. So there. Sorry, but yeah, you are going to get those days when a major economic fundamental that's going to be measured by the entire world. Maybe not the guys running around in Borneo, I don't know, but the capitalist world with stock markets and stuff that they'll be watching this and they're saying, hang on a minute. And that is why I didn't, I said this morning in our strategy room, Brent looks like a buy, but I'm not going to back it. Okay. I don't want guys to go into it and get stuck in it and anything could happen. Yeah, that's all right if you can do that. But if you're driving, the passenger can sit, have a coffee, put the headphones on, maybe watch a recorded Netflix or something. They're all right. You're stuck in the bloody track, and especially on a manual car, eh? Then you got to stick in first gear all the time. Yeah, I think so. I think, to be honest, well, just put it up first, and I'll give my opinion on that now. I'm not where is it now? GBP, JBI. To be honest, that's why I buy automatic. Exactly, Zeph. Yeah, that's exactly why I get automatic. So if you're stuck in traffic, just ease your foot on and off the brake. That's simple as that. First gear, playing on that clutch not only wears it out, it's a hassle on the feet. It's a pain. And then you get bored, you let in too quickly, you jerk forward, hit the guy's bumper. Well, if you try that in my car, you'd hit my bloody tow bar. I've got a retractable tow bar. I leave it down, not to tow stuff. Anyone hits me from behind, they'll damage their car, but they'll just scratch my tow bar. That's the idea behind it. So if you get cute at the back of my car, mate, you hit the tow bar. Anyway, yeah. So where were you? I'm telling you, it's just my opinion, and 100% on this. But I don't think it was intervention yesterday. I think it's just a lot of big players got scared of an intervention and they closed their longs. That's why a sudden move downwards on the dollar yen or whatever, the slight strength of the yen. Not so much because of a big intervention. I think it was a big enough move for a big intervention. I think there's a lot of guys running scared, getting near 152 and started all hitting their TPs or manually exiting their positions. Enough people do it. That's a sell orders to exit, remember? That'll pull it back. I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. That's also true, yeah. Rather go to the gym, yeah. Makes sense. That's my opinion. I'm not sure it's 100%, but I think a lot of it was just guys got scared. That when was that yesterday? What was that movement there? 70 pips. That was quite a lot, to be honest. It was quite a lot. That's on the 4-hour chart. Maybe to move back up again. Probably get a better idea on that one. That's probably more an indication. About 60 odd pips. It's quite a lot. There might have been some, but there could have been a lot of fear at getting pretty high, and guys panicked, started closing their positions, and thought, "Hang on, don't want to get too cute with this," and that might be a large amount to do it, and maybe a bit of intervention, but I think that's probably the majority of the reason. Because you get a major intervention, I expect more than 70 pip move, like the other one's over 300 pip move. If you get my point. So you got yours at 152 as your sell stop. Sorry, your sell limit. Um, I think a lot of guys will be bailing before he gets there. They're just frightened to get caught with a 300 pip sudden move against them. They might even get slippage. Remember, you remember know about slippage. Remember, a stop loss is a market order. If there's no buyers or sellers at those levels, so you're not going to be out the market. So I think you're a bit worried about a massive move in down in this case, and then you get caught in the slippage. So I think probably panic job. I'm guessing anyway. But yeah, I think that's more fear. Well, I would have, you would have. I mean, I'd be very scared. I'm long on it. It's getting near 152. I'm not going to take a chance to wait to get to 152 plus, just in bloody case. I'm in a profit. The guy at 151 point whatever it is, I'm going to get out of there. And I think there's probably some like-minded people. Look where it was on the 1 hour chart. It's in the 15 minute. Look at the 1 hour chart. Look at that minute. Look how close was that high. People starting to panic. TP's out we go. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Go to 15 minutes if you like. Simple idea. There we are. So I think it could have been some intervention. Not saying I'm ruling that out, but I think there's a lot of people panicking as well. You know what I mean, hey, Chris? And not just Chris, but everyone out there, but sure, you know what I mean? You'd panic. I mean, if you're along at that stage, getting a 152 after previous major intervention, you'd be one nervous chappy. To be 50 pips up and suddenly find you got slippage, you lose a couple hundred pips, you would not have been a happy chappy. I'm spinning it out of it because I want everyone to fully get the concept here.
Roger, do you think the Japanese yen GDP data will affect this pair?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Got something to do with the pound coming out. Is it tomorrow, Wednesday? Where's Wednesday? Something about the pound's coming out. CPI of the pound tomorrow. Japanese GDP tomorrow. CPI pound GDP tomorrow. And PPI is coming out in the pound as well. That's interesting. Tomorrow morning as well. Just bear that in mind. I think you've all got. Okay, there we are. Okay, if you want the dollar index, you haven't got it, let me know and I'll post that as well. Don't forget, when you deal with the dollar index, don't forget, guys, it's not weighted equally. The 6 currencies in the dollar index, and the euro is by far the heaviest weighted there. It's about 55%. So you can see the dollar index go up quite a bit if the euro weakens quite a lot. And you're wondering why the dollar index is going up, and maybe the pound is gaining strength, or the yen is gaining strength, or the Aussie dollar is gaining strength. Why is that? Simply because all the DXY might be strengthening. A lot of it push is coming from the euro. That just shows that example. It's not equally weighted. I hope you got the concept as well. Okay. Now, I've just got a call from, not call, I mean, a chat line there from Keo say, look at the NAS and the gold. Before we look at the NAS and the gold, I would like to ask Keo, what do you think? You ask the gold and NAS, what is the reasoning behind that? I'd like to ask that because I'm trying to get people to develop more their thinking, their knowledge, and engaging more instead of just listening to me rabbit on, you know? Before we look at the gold and move over to it, what had you in mind by drawing Maya and everyone else's attention to it? We'll start off with the gold. What do you have in mind? We can look at it with pleasure, but it's got to be a reason. You don't look at it with no reason at all, it'd be pointless. So what did you have in mind? We can unmute if you like, don't forget. We want people to engage, that's how we learn. If you're too frightened to engage, you're not going to be able to do the trading. You need to have self-confidence because it'll hit it sometimes. You need a lot of self-confidence in trading, so you need to be able to engage so we can all learn. Like Chris Skippers, he's quite confident, you know? That's how you want to do it. So, Gail, Kier, what do you think? And if you don't want to speak, let me know so I can move on to somebody else. What particular reason would you draw my attention to gold? I'm interested for explanation. Aha, thank you. Right. Now, I'm going to put on the daily. And what I want to do, guys, because it's probably not getting much for trading out the moment, I want to shove it out to you guys so we have some sort of form and interaction. I want to see what you guys learned, what you can pick up from it, discuss on that. Keo, excellent. Thanks for that, by the way. It's looking for further downside, might be the last selling opportunity for it. Actually, quite interesting comment, that. I quite like it, actually, to be honest. It's not a bad one. Now, I'd just like to see what other people think at the moment on this particular one. What do you glean from looking at that chart? And you can tell me to move to the 4 hour, 1 hour. Let you guys take control and see what's happening together. And then we could all learn together instead of me just rabbiting on. Quite an interesting comment. He said it's looking for further down. It might be this last selling opportunity to get in and take a sell on it. Very good point. What would you think? Herald's going to wait for a bounce to 200. Are you going to wait for a bounce at 200? Just buy it, okay? If you wait for a bounce, clearly then you're looking to buy it. Okay, that's fine. The 200's around about the 90.35. Fair comment. Let's hear what else anyone else say. Is a concern for a sell? Yes, it's only $9 away, or make it $10 away. That's fine. Any other comments, guys? Quite like that, Zama, actually. I like that. Sorry, guys. I'm taking the ladies' side. Yes, that's probably the better one of those. That's a pretty good comment there. I do like that one. Hold on, Zama. Not a bad one. Okay. Well, I'm going to say not a bad comment, Zama. And I also see the sell opportunity. I agree with that as well. I'm not looking to buy at the moment. If you look at your DXY, what's it doing at the moment? Lost the bloody thing now. Why has that gone? Ugh, Jesus. Now what? Lost it now. Maybe it's some data's not coming through on it. Ah, that's better. Coming through now. Good stuff. Give me a moment. Yeah. Dollar's coming off a bit, which is strong for gold, to be fair. But that's just sideways, coming off a bit. Can't give a lot from that. Just give me a second, because the bloody lost the thing is on that one as well. Just let me update it quickly and refresh it. Okay. Bloody thing. Okay, it's slightly coming off, a little bit of a, anyway, but can't really tell too much from it. Now it's bounced back up again. So I'm telling them up from DXY, very little at the moment on that one. Okay, so the bottom line is, Keo, before we go to the NASDAQ, at the moment, I think it's a good chance of retesting the 200 at 1935. Is that enough meat on the bone so you have a go at? I'm not so sure. But what's making me even less sure is, let's zoom in a bit, or out a bit, should I say? Nothing's happening. Look at that candle. This is now a 10-hour-old candle. Look at the distance on that candle. In 10 hours, it's moved $4, which is peanuts. Let's look at H4. Look at that. It could well beat Seth. So the bottom line, I think at the moment, look at the moment, I think there could be some more pullback on it. But then again, it could easily go up. In fact, I can't call this. In fact, I can. I'm going to flick a coin. If it heads comes up, I'll buy. Tails comes up, I will sell it. That's probably the best way, because clearly the trend is down on the 4 and the daily, but there's no movement at all. There's no buyers and sellers pushing it at all. Again, we're waiting for the CPI. If the CPI comes out in favor of the dollar, gold will come off. If it comes out negative to the dollar, gold will go up. Especially, and then remember, the yields got to kept an eye on as well. Remember, it goes the opposite direction of the yields and the dollar. So bottom line, Keo, I would say leave it alone. And flick it 3 times to make sure. Yeah. And you do your announcement before the session, which means you're getting the idea, and I want everyone to do it. I spoke to one guy, quite a seasoned trader, to be fair. There's a lot of guys just jump into the trades without really looking at it. And his comment was, wow. He was a bit taken aback. Yeah, I understand when you start. I did that when I started, just follow the trade because I don't know yet a lot. Fair enough. But it's as soon as you start to know why, the better. GBP USD. Exactly. Let's go to the NAS. That was voted in yesterday, Chris. GBP NZD. Now, let's go back to this one here. The NAS has moved 32 pips in 10 hours. 3 pips an hour on the most volatile instrument in the entire bloody portfolio we got here. Entire watch list, sorry. Can you believe that? That means the sod all going on. Probably see it clear on the 4 hour. Make it on the 1 hour. See, squat. Would you trade that, guys? Look at this candle here. Would you trade that? No. Yeah. You see it? Yeah, exactly, Zama. Exactly. You wouldn't trade that, would you? Why would you? I can't. You know, you're having a nice chit chat with your friends. Sorry, got to leave now because a lovely traffic jam I want to join. I don't see that happening. Can't wait to join a traffic jam. Nothing's happening. It's not moving. No, leave it alone. That's why I like to show you the price action. It's not just me chatting about it. It's actually happening that way. I picked out quite a few instruments and nothing's happening right across the board. I think Gertrude, it'd be more fun to watch a blank screen on the TV. The whole world is waiting, yeah. We need nice open highways, yeah. Come on, yeah, mate. I don't think I've met anybody, bar 100%, no exceptions, who says, oh, I can't wait to get into a traffic jam. Who wants an open freeway? No, I love traffic jams. I haven't met anyone who says that in my entire life, so you get my point. Oh, that's not quite true. I had one guy the other day. He said he's stuck in a traffic jam. Found out why. He owes me some money. No, just joking. Yeah, nothing's happening. So there we go. No, just say Wall Street, the rest of the world. Now, what time is 3:30? And it's about midnight in New Zealand and Australia and Far Eastern countries. So what are they going to be doing? They're going to be up watching that. Yeah, if you phone up your favorite broker and just before, say about 3:15, and he says, what's happening just now? He says, I'm not sure at the moment, I'm driving. I'll be a bit suspicious of that broker. that broker will be in front of his computer watching this stuff coming out. The only time he might be the road is because his kid's got to be going to the hospital or something, but otherwise they're going to be stuck in here. So if you think your broker's brilliant, and you call him up, first of all, he wouldn't admit it. He'd probably make up a story. But if he actually openly admit, no, I'm actually driving off somewhere, you think, what's he not in front of his computer for? You know what I mean? They'll be in front of their computers. And we'll be anyway, because we're doing a shuttle trade, guys. But look at it. But why should the Dow be any different, Rado? Why should it be any different? What makes you think the Dow is going to be different? What do you think there, Rayno? Should we trade that? What do you reckon? What's your thinking on the Dow? Does that look like a good trading idea to go buy or sell this one at the moment? Oh, you do you? Okay. Where do you see upside to? You see upside, fine. There's 580 pips. You think that's a good idea to buy it now? That's exactly what I think, here. Yeah. Why do you see upside? Because technically gone to the buy zone. Well, fairly clear that. In fact, what you've learned to trade, we spot that fairly quickly and say, yeah, that's a buy in the buy zone. Why would we hesitate? Like Keo says, if that comes out where it's going to be very, very strong for the dollar, that Dow is like to come off. That's nothing to do with whether it's the buy zone or not. Are we good with that, Kano? Right, Kano, Reno, mix the two names up. Beg your pardon. Are you good with that, Reno? Why would I suggest you don't get cute with it? If you want to take a gamble, go for it. Buy it then. There you are. Don't cry if you get stopped out. But laugh out loud if it obviously goes in your direction. But we can't pat you on the back. You just got lucky. It's like taking your money and putting on black in the casino. Black comes up, great. But what happens? Red comes up. Yeah, red comes up. You will be in the red. See what I mean? Does anyone disagree with me there? It's not a authoritarian state in the training room. Welcome to disagree. Anybody say, no, hang on, Roger, I'm not sure I agree with him. No, this is a bloody good idea of a buy. I'm going to go for it. Put the R up. Anyone want to put the R up and go a buy or a sell on this one? Dion, Cornet, Edwin, what do you think? But up with pleasure. You want to do it. Anyone like to put an R up and buy or sell this? Leave it alone. Okay. You want to buy it, do you? Okay, right, I'll put something up for you. But be honest, guys, that's not for the demo account, just to prove us wrong. You've got to go into it. Put it the micro. We've got the micro there. Not after the eye, Bedouin, yeah, very much so. Right, we'll put a stop loss down here. How far? Give a decent side down here somewhere. Bit below to yesterday's low, 34,105. Make it 100. And TP, make it up there somewhere. Make it 34.9. That'll do it. Do that from memory. There you are, $46. There you are. If you want to do that too, ask for that one. Yeah, it will be, Dion. Will be. You discussed the reason why just now. Yeah. Limpo, do you want to do that? Anyone want to join Limpo and buy that one? There you are. Those are the figures. Is that you back there, Farley? Farley Murray, or is it another Farley? Just saw the name Farley come up. Yeah. Well, technically upside, but you want to get that, as you just mentioned that, Keir, why don't we have that criteria, as you mentioned, in balance before you jump in? Yeah. Okay, there you are, Limpo. If you want to do it, there you are. You want to also join him? There you are. And good luck if it comes right. Don't blame me if it doesn't. Well, you can hedge it by taking a sell, but then again, you still got to pay the spread. Remember, it's an 8 pip spread as we look at it there. And then when do you close one area of the hedge? If you feel lucky, go for it. If you feel you'd rather be cautious and wait for the information because anything can happen, which I'm definitely advising, then wait. Okay. I think I made my point. Okay, let's see. There's a couple there to look at. Euro, something, Euro AUD. Okay, Euro AUD. I'm just going to take this out the way because it's getting in. Sorry. Okay, just there we are. Okay, you want to buy the Euro AUD. Yeah, the euro has actually strengthened a little bit. Maybe it's last kicking in some of Lagarde's hawkish tone. Aussie still looking a bit on the weak side. I have to was starting to get a bit of strength last week, but I mean it seemed to come back on the weak side. I'm seeing the AUD and NZD, GBP, and to a certain extent, well, Japanese. That's a little bit risky there. Still not slightly on the weak side. Euro, I think it's moved much more to middleweight stance, so slightly more in favour of the euro. I hear you on that. Technically speaking, why is that still there? Technically speaking, it's in the buy zone, so we good chance to get some more upward movement. Let's have a look at the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the weekly. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. So, do I think it's an idea to buy it right at this stage? I'm going to say no, I don't. Now, anyone guess why I don't want to do it right at this stage? Okay, Limpo, you've noted it. Good stuff, yeah. Yeah, it's in the buy zone. You can see that. So above all the moving averages. Yeah, pretty strong upward movement, quite a lot of momentum. So why don't I want to buy it? Which I'm not, I don't want to, I don't enter a trade in the buy on this one. Am I going crazy or am I just chicken or do you think it's sensible? What do you reckon? Because I'm difficult. Yeah, that's all. That's spot on. You got it in one because I'm just being bloody difficult. Anybody agree with Gerard there for buy here? If not, why not? So I think I'm trying to use this to get people to interact so we can all learn. Let's put one up and have a look. We can just put previous high to aim at, stop below yesterday's low. Why would I possibly think that's not a great trade? Yeah, so I think that's exactly. So Kyo agrees with the buy. You're happy with the buy? There you are. Go for it. If you want to adjust the stop loss, you can. I'm not going to. It came back yesterday. What's to stop it coming back today? It failed to break through back here. It fell there. It failed there. It failed here. Failed here. And so far, it's battling at the moment. Let's just make it a bit clearer. Few sellers are coming in here. It's backing to break through. So I'm actually, sorry, wrong way around. I'm basically with Gertrude on that. So I'm not going to do it. Yep, Zoma, that's exactly what I think. So I'm not going to do it. But some guys think, hey, that looks like a buy to them. There you are, $100 a micro, TP, SL, all there. Anyone want to do it? An LIA. Zama, Gertrude, LIA. And Tomby's an LIA. Paul's an LIA. Dion. The record myself as well. In fact, put that on for me as well. I'm going to post on here. There we are. Ernest, Billy.
Roger, will the CPI affect currency pairs like the EUR, AUD?
All of them. Probably less extent, I'll give you that, but all of them will be affected. Look what happened last time we had some of these majors come out. They affected all of them, and sometimes in fairly strange ways. Predominantly, obviously, the currency in America's dollar, so that'll be probably the most. But that's why we're using a dollar for the straddle trade later on. But they'll all be affected, yeah. That's why people in Australia, Japan, China, I don't know, New Zealand, Bahamas, anyone of the Far East is going to be sitting in front of it, even if it's quite late for their time. Yeah, basically. That's why actually, and if you didn't know that, just look at the movements of the EUR, the AUD, the NZD, all the others. Look at the movements so far today in the last 10 hours. Very little movement. So that tells you guys are running scared. Does that make sense? If you look at investing.com or the Bloombergs, NCBC, CNBC, all those guys, Forex News or whatever, you listen to on the radio, Bloomberg or whatever, what are they talking about? They're talking about the CPI. All of them.
Yes, I have realized that almost all the pairs are craving either on resistance or support. So it's a bit confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's confusing because there's nowhere to go at the moment. And what effect would CPI have on the market? Should it be positive? Right. Okay. Right. Murti, I think it's important to explain to everyone. I think a lot of people do know this, been here before, but in case they don't. 1 second, even the rand be affected. Well, yeah, because it's the opposite side of the dollar. So rand will be affected, yeah. Because remember, there's a pair involved. If I'm sitting on the seesaw with some equal weight, somebody jumps on my side, clearly it's going to affect the seesaw. I tell that problem with myself and other traders of days that are quiet and end up lose big money. So I've had to learn patience, strength, and some days are simply no trades. Wait till the next day. Copy and paste that, guys, what Chris said, and keep it written down and handy. Because people get bored. And trust me, Chris, if you find you got enough money and experience to do this full time, it's going to be a major issue. You're going to say, I've got up to go to work and there's nothing happening at work. You'll find something to happen and then you'll kick yourself. That's when you say, don't feel guilty. If you live in somewhere near a beach, close the bloody thing, go down to the beach. I don't know, do something else. But don't try and force a trade. There are going to be times where it's squat. Quite right. Agreed. Okay, I just want to go back to that question there just a second. What effect will the CPI have on the market? Right. Remember, this is before I go down to that, remember, this is very, very important. Human beings, emotional first, logic second. Okay. Emotion is a major part. We're emotional animals. And sometimes reaction to information can be somewhat slightly over the top or even too much and sometimes too little, surprisingly little reaction. I mean, it was a downgrade on the S&P. No, sorry, not Moody's. Sorry, Moody's had a slight downgrade on the American economy the other day from AA plus to AA. So it's still okay, but it's a slight downgrade. Mark didn't take anybody notice. You think they would have done. So sometimes you get a tinier reaction, expect a lot, and vice versa. So we never know what the reaction will come out for. However, on the rational side is this. They're worried about interest rates worldwide, but we're specifically talking United States. Now, they're worried about these high interest rates, but the Fed is worried about inflation. And the way you control inflation is with the interest rate tool at their disposal. Now, if it's inflationary, you're going to therefore increase the interest rate. If it's deflationary, then you're going to pause the expected interest rate increase or maybe even decrease down the line. So the major talk in economic world at the moment is when is there going to be a pause in interest rates increase, and then when are they likely to reduce those interest rates? Okay. Now, what indicators they use? CPI is the major one they look at. There's other ones like personal consumption expenditure, the PCE, but the big one in there is CPI. To a certain extent, the non-farms as well. I get that. But CPI, that is that's pure inflation, that consumer price is increasing. The price of bread and butter is going up. Get the idea. So if the CPI is higher than the expected, in other words, the data is higher than expected, that will be presumed to be inflationary. So we're like to see the NATA coming out, there'll be another interest rate increase, or there might not be a decrease down next year, or there might be a further one coming up in December. That will be the thinking, so it will strengthen the dollar. If it's below expectation, it will see it in a weakening of the dollar. If it's a lot below expectation, I think we're looking about 3.7%. If it's, let's say, 3% or 3.1 or 2.9, not very likely. I'm being slightly exaggerating here. But let's say with a major difference lower than expected, you'll see a massive weakening of the dollar. Okay? Make sense? I hope you've all got that, how to read. But don't get cute what you think is going to come out in it, because not only if you get it right, sometimes market reaction can be very surprising. I'm going to give you another example of what happened recently. The non-farm payrolls, not the one that just came out last week, but the one came out in October, first Friday of October. There was a massive difference between the actual and the expected. Yet the movement was less than the one we had last Friday, whenever it was. No, the Friday previously, beg your pardon. And the difference was much smaller, and yet the movement was much larger. So human reaction to it is unpredictable. So don't get cute. We'll do the straddle trade and let the human reaction take itself, and hope we can take advantage of it from that perspective. Hope that makes sense, Murti, and everybody else out there. Okay, read it again. The world is worried about US inflation, and therefore interest rate is the medicine to deal with inflation. Higher interest rates is negative inflation, low interest rates is positive for it. That's why they had all that quantitative easing, which they call that when the COVID was on. After COVID, because all those jobs were lost due to COVID, to get them back again, they started giving out practically free money to lenders to lend people out to clients to buy products, basically. So if you can buy a product at 0% interest rate, it's cheaper. If they lower the interest rate to buy a house in this country from where it is now 9 or 8% of where it is down to 0%, the house price are going to go shooting up, and because everyone can now afford it because the interest rates are lower. That's how they deal with it. So if the figure is less than expected, it's considered deflationary, weak dollar. If it's more than expected, inflationary, high dollar, because it'll have an effect on the expected interest rates. Get the idea. If it's exactly the same, hey, Chris, we got a problem, Houston. We could get whiplash. It could jump around. Everyone we want direction, and that won't give it to us. We do not. What's the worst thing that happens? It comes out as expected. That's what we do not want to happen. if we were nice, decent people, we'd like it to happen where it's a lower than expected, because the world wants lower interest rates, because it's killing them. It's killing them. Remember, you bought the house 2 years ago at 4%, now it's 7%, and it's eating into your budget because you're going to pay more on the bond. So, out of sheer decency, want it slightly less. But whichever way it was, if we've got a straddle trade and it's not the same, we should be able to take advantage of it for a profit-taking scenario. It's indeed a swear word, but it's got to be faced up to. That's why I don't put all your money on it. High probability we get something. We certainly had more success than not, but are going to be times when it comes out expected, as Chris well remembers. And then don't look at me as this bloody thing is rubbish or it's my fault. I'm saying right now, if that happens, you could get a whiplash and you're sucked into the bottom of the cell. We'll try and do damage limitation, but it's not good. But we don't know till it occurs. So that's why we have volumes are within the risk limit of what you can afford. Good question, Gerard. I was going to do 10 again. Do guys prefer 15 pips? What do you reckon?
$10.
Welcome back, finally. Good stuff. 15. Okay, Gerard. If you want to do 15s, that's your choice. But I'm going to go for the voting here when I do the demonstration at 3. We decided on GBP USD, unless we have a big change of mind, I'm sticking with that. And shall I stick with 10? Finally reckons 10. Well, should we stick with 10? If you want to do 15, personally you can. But if you vote for the 15, should we do 15 this time around? Just in case. Maybe you got a point there, actually, finally. Just in case we get a whiplash. 15 might give you a bit more time to get out of both trades, both buy stops. No, I haven't thought. Go on.
I agree. It's a safer option.
Yeah.
It's good. 15, I will go with the flow. Not a problem.
You happy with that? Just don't forget, guys, it'll be less profitable because let's say it hits your buy stop, you're getting, instead of 33 on that one, you're getting 38. Still 5 pips less, but maybe it's worth the 5 pips less. But there's no guarantee it could jump 20 and jump down again. I've seen 20, 30 pips. Not very often. In fact, very, very. I don't put a fear of God to you guys. But yeah. No, I'm going for 15. I'm very superstitious, Gerard. What's my thoughts of CAD JPY? Not a lot. Sorry, Chris. No. I don't want to be nasty to any cross dressers out there, but if you like women, why don't go for the real thing? Why would you want to go for a guy dressed as a woman? Canadian's not the real thing. It's a dollar thing. Why would you want to do that?
I've just noticed in the past that it actually affects the Canadian quite a lot.
It does, but that follows the dollar. So why follow the follower? Why not follow the leader?
All right, good point.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, there was a cross-dresser, yeah, but I mean, fascinating that. Why would you want to go to the fake? Go for the real thing. But anyway, each their own. Let's move on from that. Yeah, so that's basically it, yeah. So if you want to do the maybe we should do the 15. Should we play safe, guys? Do the 15. Actually, more thinking about my other point there, because there might be 1 or 2 guys coming for the first time, completely new to it, and that last 3 ones are whiplash for their first time. Just with slightly reduced profit potential, it might be slightly safer. I just hope it's not a whiplash that it takes them both in anyway, because it could happen. It could be 20. We don't know. We'll do slightly safer at 15 and 10. So are we agreed on that? We'll do 15 above or below on the pound dollar. Are we agreed on that? You got the privilege to vote in here because you're in the trading room. Okay. Okay, good enough. Okay. I like you. We're getting some feedback. Good stuff. Okay, it's going to be 15 GBP USD. Good enough. If, however, Farney and company have done this before and Edwin want to do the 10, that's your choice. You want to do 10 on the Canadian Japanese yen or the Euro AUD or the yen or the bloody Australian, it's entirely up to you. You can do what you like. I'm talking about we'll do it for the first timers. Okay. It's probably wiser actually the first time. Yeah. More thing about yeah, you might have a point there.
Sorry, I haven't been attending for the last week and a half or 2 weeks. Question, why did you decide on GBP USD?
Okay. Right. It was daily. When we come out with that, it was on Friday. When? Let's just tell you when. Just make sure I've got the facts here. That was the 10th. That was on Friday, yeah. So today is Tuesday, Friday, yeah. It was up here. It was in the sell zone and the dollar was strengthening. The dollar looked pretty good and it went up to the sell zone area. Sorry, it went up high enough and close to it. And the 10-day moving average was holding. And I thought there was more weakness like in the pound than the dollar. Simple as that. We've had a couple of stuff that moved it the other way, but I just thought from that area, never mind these 2 days, you're here at the moment. And it seems to me at that area there was a likelihood of some downside. Looking back, as if you're in that situation, would you say that's a good idea? I know you can see that now, but you didn't know at the time. You were here when the crosshair is. Get it? See where the crosshair is? That's where you were. Would you say that's a buy or a sell? I thought that was a sell.
I think he was talking about why we decided on it for a straddle, Roger.
Oh, beg your pardon. I thought we were talking about why the trade's sliding up. Okay. Well, no other reason. Can put to the vote. We did the euro one time, the dollar yen. A little bit worried the dollar yen is getting pretty weak. The yen, it might get another intervention. So we thought, just in case, the dollar strengthens a hell of a lot, and then we get intervention to stuff it up. So if that's why. What about I'm not that keen on the Canadian or the Swiss franc. New Zealand is slightly stronger than the Aussie, so I thought maybe the pound for a change or the AUD. What do you guys want? So the euro had done it, but a few more guys said the GBP USD, so we picked that one. But if you want to do the euro or something else, it's up to you.
Okay, thank you. That was just out of curiosity, the pairs that been chosen for the CPI. Thanks,
Okay.
Rog.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant why did we do that trade the other day? Because it's up a bit. Okay, I'm justifying that. No, that's thanks for being spot on there, Chris. Put me on the right track, on the same page. Good stuff. The trouble I have with the NAS, Lebo, is the fact of the wide spreads. So one guy got caught because he did 10 pips above and below on the NAS without realizing the spreads didn't do him any favors. You got a wider spread. Okay. So if you're going to do the NAS, you got to do 25 pips above and below. So you want to do the NAS 25 either side, the Dow 25 either side. And I think on gold, I used to do dollar and a half, but it's a bit close. So you can do $2 on gold. Okay. But if you want to do it, just got to do it. It is different. And a guy decided to do that on the NAS and wonder why it didn't work out for him because he used exactly the same parameters on the euro dollar as we did last time. Get my point? Or no, it's dollar yen, I think it was. No. If you want to do something different, ask first and I'll give you the different parameters. Okay, 3.37. Okay, fair enough. Then we'll see what happens here. Okay, wait, GBP NZD. Just let it all the information come through. Give me a moment. Click on the 4 on the days, it brings the information through. Right, resistance as well. NZD is actually not that weak. I'm not sure the pound can continue its march, to be honest. I know it's gone to the buy zone. It's opened the buy zone. Technically speaking, that's a buy. Bit of resistance there is making me a bit nervous. I think I'd rather wait for a breakthrough. But fundamentally, I'm a little bit nervous that if that was a CHF NZD, I know it's NZD CHF, but let's say it's the CHF NZD the other way around, I'd be more confident to go for it. I doubt it. For me, probably not. Someone else might come up with one. If I agree with it, yeah, I'll post it on the group. If I don't agree, I won't. Chris, you better have fingers like a what you call it, a virtuoso piano player. Actually, I was engaged a long time ago to a person who could really play the piano well. You see a finger, unbelievable speed. Make a teenager on the WhatsApp seem quite slow, but my fingers aren't that quick. But you'll get signals when they're there. People ask why not signals. I'm trying to explain why they're not signals. You got to understand, we're not going to send a signal out because somebody wants a signal. All right, buy this one. There you are, guys. Obviously, to send a signal, it's got to be one we can find. Sometimes we can find 5 or 6, and you don't have enough money to take them all without getting margin called. Lack of free margin. Other days, squat. And we've got a major fundamental coming out that the world is keeping an eye on. You're taking a chance to go to one. You don't trade news, Becky Zeller. What you do is you're aware of it. You can't wait till news comes out, then trade it, because it'll be discounting the price of the market immediately by the institutions. You need to be aware of it. So you know that 3:30 is going to be a data release. So we're going to do a buy stop, sell stop, straddle trade. So if it's positive for the dollar, it'll go in one direction and it'll take the buy stop in. If it's negative for the dollar, go in the other direction, take the sell stop in. That's the theory anyway. But we're not preempting it, but I think it's going to go up or down because we don't know that. So we're not trading specifically fundamentals. We're aware of them. Like I'm aware the most stable currency in the world is Swiss franc. Now you're aware because I've shared it with you, and it's pretty strong. So if it's a pretty strong one, you wouldn't be selling it. Okay. It's very stressful.
Roger, while we have a little bit of time, can I ask you to just explain, normally when you do the straddle trade and the whiplash comes out, I panic sometimes and I close. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but you keep them both open and then you say, let's do damage control. Do you mean
what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's say we're in one now. We're both taken in. I think it was not last month. It was the month before. I think was it? I can't remember anyway. Recently, went in, both are grabbed, and absolutely nothing happened. Absolutely squat happened, just sideways, and waited and waited and waited until at last, I think it was a good half an hour later, we started getting a reaction just before 3 o'clock. Remember, it was an hour earlier then. 3 o'clock, we started getting some reaction. As we got a reaction that direction, I closed the opposite one, even though I was in both. I took the loss on it, okay? And then I hanged on to the other. I think it was $1 yen. And in the end, I think I made, if not all of that money back, I lost on closing the other one. Most of it got back. I think in the end, I can't remember I broke even or took a slight loss. I can't actually remember, to be honest. But it was basically
essentially, if it does come out like static or whatever, you're waiting for direction and then try and make up your losses and then some.
That's correct. I mean, let's just put 2 up here to get an idea. Here it is. Just where we're all on the same page, and here that's a bit too far away. About there, I don't know, something not exactly. Give me a break, you know. Give an example here. Right, comes out, bang, bang, both in, pain in the backside, and now it's hovering around here, going nowhere. I don't know which one to close. I can guess, I can think, I can do all that, but I'm not still sure. The market does some funny things. So I'm going to wait what the market tells me, not what I think. And it's hovering, and then, for instance, it came down. In this case, if I'm right, it came down and it started breaking lower. Round about there, started coming. I said, I'm getting some impetus in that direction. So I might have looked at the dollar index and that started to confirm a little bit. So I thought I'd close this one, kabang. That took a loss because it's in both, remember? That took the loss and this started coming off a bit. So let's say I had 100 unit loss, for argument's sake. It started coming 90, 80, 70. I think I actually came out break even, a couple of bucks profit. I can't actually remember. But basically it was damage limitation. So now they're staying 100 pip loss or 100 pip loss or whatever it was. It wouldn't be as much 100 pips, probably about 50. But instead of taking a 50 pip loss, that I think was the maximum or whatever, I ended up taking either a 10 pip profit or a 10 pip loss. It was damage limitation because I closed on. I didn't panic. You know what I mean? And that's often what happens because you can see it. That's one of the problems with this job is it's so transparent and it plays with your head. Okay, I'll do that in a moment, Abdul. It plays with your head. Example, Chris, I'm going to give you some bad news, by the way. Over the last 3 weeks, your house went down 7,550 around in value. Now, he's not very happy for me for telling you that because he wasn't aware of it. It's not in his face. He's living anyway. And he thinks, well, sod Roger. Anyway, it's still a good area. Wait another few months, it'll be back up again. What I'm trying to point out is it's not in your face, the house price or your equities, your long-term equities or whatever. They're sitting in a drawer, hidden away. You're not worried about it until you decide you want to sell that house or sell your shares. This one's in your sodding face and it plays with your head. That's why people panic. Okay. That's the problem. It's very transparency causes more headaches. People say they want transparency, causes more headaches because of it. It's in your sodding face. Okay, I'm clear. Yeah, by the way, go back to this one. I'm going to leave it alone. If someone wants to buy it, they can. I'm leaving it alone. Right resistance. Too many reasons to leave it alone, so I'm allowing it. Your interest rate explanation price action, simple. Kind of repeat again. The world has inflationary problems because of COVID. They lowered the interest rate to get people back to work to practically free money. I hope we all know what I mean by free money. When money only costs if there's an interest rate. Now, you've got 100,000 Rand saved, Abdul, right? And you can borrow to buy a product you want that costs 100,000 Rand. Why would you use your 100,000 Rand saved to pay cash when you can borrow 100,000 Rand completely free at zero interest rate? If you did, it means you don't understand economics. It would be crazy. You'd borrow the money because there's absolutely no point using your own money when you can use somebody else's money completely free of charge. So they brought the interest rates down to practically zero, 0.1% at one stage in the States and Europe, etc. In fact, slightly minus in Europe, Swiss franc or whatever. But the point is virtually zero plus minus. So the guys now could buy products because it was cheaper. If you say, I can't afford, I haven't got the cash to buy a 50 grand product. Right. Now, if it's zero interest rate, your repayment is, let's say, 50 Rand, 100 Rand a month instead of 150 Rand a month. It's cheaper because interest rates are lower. The problem with that is, the good thing about that is people start buying stuff. Buy stuff, want to do the business, good for business. To start hiring people because they need more people, business doing well. The problem is it becomes inflationary. We can't have another situation like Zimbabwe or whatever, where the value of money now becomes completely irrelevant. Then people don't save at all, they spend it. You won't save in Zimbabwe, you just spend it. As soon as you get it, you spend it because it's going to be valueless in a few days. So you've got to keep control of that inflation. So to do that, they had to start putting interest rates up. That will start, you know, deflating the economy, bring the inflation rate down. The problem with that is the guys who bought stuff on longer term, expensive motor cars and houses at very cheap interest rates are now suffering because they've got to pay more each month. So that's why you'll have a strength in the dollar if you have anything that might be inflationary. And this is very important. I've said many times, around the world, everybody, I don't care who you are, is affected by economics. But I'm a bet about 80%, if not more, the whole world don't know anything about it. It's a bit like, it's amazing, but most people, maybe because it's a boring subject, I don't know, most people know very, very little about something that affects their lives more than about anything else. Money affects our lives. Simple as that. It's about the money, whether you like it or not, whether you talk about it or not, it affects your life. And yet, something we know so little about most people anyway. And these just basic. That's getting an economic degree. These just basic to a little bit about it. So that's why we have to watch it, because the Americans, what happens in America affects the world. Okay. Yeah, I do. Chris, I haven't even looked at it. Yes, I do. Okay. No more than that. Straight to the point. Yes, I do. I wouldn't be buying or selling. I'd be a bit careful. But otherwise, if I've had a short on that, I'd be nervous long on that one. Okay, Chris. But I do, yeah. Okay. Does that make sense now, Abdul? And if nothing else here, guys, at least you're learning a little bit about base economics, which you need to know. You should teach that at school. A guy shouldn't leave matric without knowing base economics, because that's why these poor guys are getting caught with micro lenders and all sorts of things, because they haven't got a cooking clue about percentage, interest rates, any of that. You can borrow this off me, this R1,000 you desperately need at 15% a month. Oh, yeah. Does anyone know what 15% implications are per month? They're probably doing that per year. I've spoke to people and said to them, is 50% a year a good return on investment? They look at me blankly. Is it? That's dangerous, that lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? That's correct. You're slightly bullish on that. He says, all the JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs are saying they're expecting 2 or 3 coming up next year. Interest decrease, that is, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'll keep an eye on it. Everyone knows the last couple of years what his goal is. That's 2%, and he's going to watch it. If it starts going up again, he'll do something. If it starts coming down, he'll wait. And because it takes time for interest rate to flood into the economy to get the results. And then if it continues in that direction, he'll bring them down. I mean, what's so bloody new about that? To me, that's fairly commonsensical. But yeah, that's basically it. Quite right, Keir. How does it affect the Canadian? The Canadian is very much biggest trading partners of the United States. It has a lot of resources. It has in oil in particular. It's this big player there. And it doesn't have the big population in the United States. And yeah, so it follows it to a certain extent. But it follows. It's not the United States, it's a follower of it. And there are certain similar movements, but you'll find if the dollar weakens, the Canadian might weaken a little bit, but the Canadian dollar could strengthen if oil suddenly goes up from $80 to $90, then they'll go in opposite directions. So there's a bit more to it than that. So yeah, so that's why I don't use the Canadian for the CPI. I use the dollar. You get the idea. But because of similarity in culture and economies, to a certain extent it does. It's a bit like AUD and NZD, similar sort of setup. Okay, good. All right, so we get trade ideas out here. We get a lot of them out here in the trading room, guys, a lot. Are times we don't, and I hope you now, I've said it about 50 times, why not? And if you want me to send out an irresponsible trade with that coming up and you get burnt, you won't be happy. And if you don't, it goes in your favor. Don't pat me on the back. You should still throw stones at me because it was, even if you did well, it was irresponsible because either side could happen. People, we've got a large amount of clients on board with Quick Trade. Most of them don't bother to attend the trading room for whatever reason. They think they know, maybe they know better. I don't know. But hopefully the idea is to, in this trade room, to have some ethics and proper trading principles and understand the fact what markets can go up and down and we cannot control the market. It could do. Yeah, I could do. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm long on the dollars up. I've got my stop loss better than entry, so I can't lose in the trade. I'm letting it run. But I wouldn't be joining it now. Absolutely not. But I've been there since about Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. About a week ago, I joined it. About 1830 or something. I think the stop's 1840 at the moment. I'm letting it run. Okay, so that's the reason, guys. Hope we're all clear on it. I have done a couple of times. I'm sitting in front, and I'm doing maybe a range trade. I don't want anyone else to see where my stops are, but I'm very disciplined. I put a horizontal line like this to my stop and my TP and watch it, and then manually exit because I'm stuck in front of the thing. I'm watching it, especially if I do a range trade, and I don't want the guys out there seeing my stop loss. If I'm in slightly longer term ones, I've got other stuff to do. I can't keep an eye on 10 trades at once or something daft. I will have them in, yeah.
Sorry, Roger, what did you say there about other people having seeing where your stop loss is?
I thought you were all aware of that. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I think the speaker was down a bit below my chin there on my headphones. Remember, I put a stop loss in here right now. It's not going into my computer. It's going into the market. Stop loss set in the market. Closes off the computer and it sits there. You know what I'm saying?
So now we might have basically track our trades.
Of course they can. It's put it. Well, yeah, that's why it's there. Just put yourself. We're selling. You're advertising a product, your business, at 50 Rand special on Mondays. Well, you've got to have people seeing that. They won't know the price to come in and buy your special or whatever. Same principle, absolutely, yeah. So when you put that stop loss or TP in there, people can see it, right? You might have the access to it, but the institution's there because that's where it's putting out. How would you put your stop loss there? People can see it. That why they won't know it's there, will they? If you don't know about it, how can they get triggered? Do you understand? So it's got to be seen. The problem with that, where you worried about, and you're quite right to be worried about, unfortunately, is a lot of institutions see it and they often drive the price because they got the power to do it to that stop because they can see where the SLs are. And they're usually in that sort of area there to grab a few of that product before going up. And that's why sometimes guys with bigger positions, but they've got to be very disciplined. It's not for beginners. They're not disciplined enough. Won't put it in, but they'll have a line in the sand which they'll react to. The trouble is you've got other stuff to do, so you can't do it. And some guys who have got time see it go there and they think, I'll wait on a little bit longer. They're not disciplined to take it wherever happens. But so therefore it'd be better to have the stop loss in. But yeah, it has to be visible so people can react to it. It's saying, I want to sell or buy at that price. Remember, a short stop loss is a buy order, a long stop loss is a sell order. And you've got to have the product there for people to see to grab, if you see what I mean. Otherwise, it won't be triggered. Because the retail trade doesn't access institutions. A lot of prop traders for the institutions will see it, yeah.
So that's why sometimes the trade moves down just to where the stop loss is, and then it turns direction.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Aye.
I'm going to go back again. This is, being honest, guys, go back again. You've got a gun and they've got a machine gun. It's one of those things. You just got to accept there's ways around it. You got to be careful, but you don't have the ammunition these guys have got. So you got to play it slightly different to them. Yeah. Why does it always say since the history of man, the rich get rich, the poor get poorer? Because they got the ammunition. That's why I keep saying guys who put very little money in their account, they haven't got much chance because they can't diversify. They have to risk more because they can't trade unless they risk more percentage wise. They're very limited in what they can do. They usually have wider spreads because it's not worth a business to keep them in with small margins because there's enough money for them to make a profit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's the best way to say it is you go into the bank and you want to deposit 100 Rand. You're a bloody nuisance to the bank. It costs them money to put you on their books. So how are they getting that back? They give you higher costs. You go in with 10 million Rand, your costs will be a fraction of that because now they've got 10 million Rand, they'll lend out to others. And what they pay out in deposits and what they're lending out is a big difference in interest rate. That's how they make their money. So Mr. Smith comes in with R1 million. You go straight to the manager and gets better costs. Mr. Guy with 100 Rand waits in the bloody queue all sodding day to get to the teller and then gets the highest costs. It's the way the world works. It should be common sense. But we do bleeding heart say, oh, no, it's not fair. But say what they like. It's the way it works. If you're a human, you're charging a bloody a lion, who's likely to win? You know what I mean? So yeah, they do. Yeah, fortunately, yeah. But as you get better and disciplined, and you're in front more, and you're doing a range trade, you set your own. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest with you guys. I keep saying, you go on with a 500 Rand your account, no knowledge, and you've got a broken cell phone. It's like attacking a tank with a pea shooter. What chance are you giving? It's like, I've just started my medical course. Would you come and pay me good money to come and fix your health, or would you go to a qualified doctor? Same sort of principle. It does. I like that. Forward favors the already fortunate. Absolutely. I always say the first million's difficult. The second million's a lot easier. Because it's like capitalism. You need the capital. And what happens, unfortunately, a lot of guys go and fool these poor guys out there, all these ridiculous promises on social media, because they know that's where majority of the shall we, less fortunate are, and they're appealing to that particular group. But if you just take a stand back and use a bit of common sense, I've got more money than you. I've got more knowledge. I've got better equipment than you. And it's a zero-sum game. Who's like to do better? No, they're not really after your bounces. They're after, not after probably the wrong word, stop loss of that, but no. I can see it, but I cannot tamper with it. I mean, if you ask me, I have to see it so I can advise, but I can't tamper with it. And there's nothing I've said there is top secret. Just go to any Google, they'll tell you that. There's nothing top secret about it. I'm not giving you any way of quick trade secrets. That's how it works. Yeah. But it's the way of the laws of physics, path of least resistance. You probably both you're the same yourself, you know. Okay, thanks for that, Chris. Something not stuff you want to hear, but still. Yeah. Well, the bounce over here are particularly small in comparison overseas, yeah. Okay, Vilna. Yeah, only a few minutes to go to 11 anyway. Good stuff. No, there's no reason why. I mean, somebody started somewhere. Not everyone millionaires unless their parents are rich, born that way. But to do it, you just got to put the grind in, and there's ways to do it. That's how you become wealthy. But the trouble is, people always look for the no-brainer shortcut, and you find that the shortcut usually becomes the long cut. That's the problem. Let's just read this out. Can I ask a personal question? No, this is important. Absolutely. If it's asked about my personal love life, well, maybe not. Can I ask about just an average of committed traders who start with 5 to 1,000 US, learn the tools and trade and mastering discipline? How long average does it take to make first million? How long have you been trading? How long did it take you to make your million? Give me some information, please. Well, the best, simplest way to answer that is you've got to work on percentages. Simple as that. This is why I hate my money. Don't want to see it. Just kidding. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. But it's only that as metadata, assume not as my trade would be their target. No, not really. No, it's got to be a lot of them. Yeah. They're not after you or Chris or Zeph. Panic not on that. No disrespect, guys. You're too small a player. But if they see 10,000 people with their stop losses on the long of the GBP NZD and at 209.15, then it might be worth grabbing those because a couple of $1 million there. But they're not going to go after $10. You get the idea, obviously. Okay, come back to that. Right, work on percentages. Just forgotten his name. Let's go back up again. What was his name again? Limpo. Work on percentages. Right, you've got $1 million. Make it rand, dollars if you like. Make it rand. Okay, you got $1 million rand in your account, and you want to make 10,000 rand. Right, you want to make 10,000 rand. You got $1 million in your account. What percentage you need to make? You need to make 1%. Is that difficult? Not particularly. If you got 100,000 in rand your account, you want to make 10,000 rand, you got to make 10%. Nah, it's doable. Not as easy as 1%, but it's certainly doable. Now, you've got 10,000 rand in your account and you want to make 10,000 rand. You've got to make 100% profit. That's a lot. That is a lot. Okay, so to get that 10,000 rand profit, it's going to take you a long time. Does that make sense? Working percentages. Now, I've got $1 million. Zeph's got 100,000, and you've got 10,000 rand, Limpo. And our goal is to make 10,000 rand, each one of us. I'll achieve it the easiest, and you'll find it the longest to get there. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. Okay. Remember, to get from $1,000 to $1 million, you've got to make 1,000 times that. That's a lot amount, 1,000 times it. You've got to multiply your entire capital by 1,000. Now it compounds because when you go from 1,000 to 1,100, that's 10% of 1,100, 10% of 1,000, only 100. So it's compounding, but it takes time for the snowball to start going up quite a bit. So let's say after 5 years, you're on, let's say, from 1,000 to, let's say, 10,000. but it doesn't take another 5 years to get from 10,000 to 20. No, it might take only 5, and the next might be 3, and the next might be 2, because you've got more money to play with, because it's compounding. That's what we say by compounding. If you say, look, I'm going to save R1,000 a month for the next 30 years, you'll have far more return the last 3 years you would in the first 15, because you've got less original capital percentage to work at. That's how you look at it. It's percentage. Are you with me on that? That's correct here. Okay. Now that's another good question. Right. Trade for the sake of not a good idea. You need to look for high probability trades, and too many people overtrade their account, often out of boredom. I want signals. I want to make a lot of money. I want to make some money quickly. I've got my bills to pay. Quick. So they want lots and lots of signal to trade. Overtrading the account doesn't always do you any favors. Sometimes you might get several days with nothing at all. Other days you've got plenty of trades, and then unfortunately you don't have enough capital to make use of all of them. And those trades are brilliant. 5 trades come out, they're all good. You're going to need 2 to them because you didn't have enough capital. So it depends again on the situation. Baby steps, yeah. That's right. Baby steps. You've just got a law degree. You're not going to be made a partner in the company because you might have passed your degree, but you've still got a lot of practice to learn. And remember, experience means you can go to something quicker. You come up with a law question. I've heard it before, so I can answer immediately. While Zeph's only just got his law degree, he's got to go and run around all these books to look up the answer, and time is money. So experience and time, the right equipment, it takes some time. We want to get away from guys think I can put $1,000 in, and then within the end of the year, I made $10,000. Where do you get those kind of returns? Yeah, but work on percentage. Noted. Yeah, have you got that, guys? 1% of a million is 10,000 rand. 100%. Just work at percentages. 10,000, 1% is 10% of 100 is 100% of 10,000. What is easy to achieve? 1% or 100%? Common sense is the answer. Okay. That's why you need capital, you need knowledge, you need equipment to be successful. If you need all 3, really. I won't say you'll be unsuccessful at them, but it takes time to build up. But having a problem with that, it's all you got to start, but that's fine. But my problem is with guys putting nothing in, expecting a lot out. The thing I'm only going to put that in and get some horrendous return. That's basically naive. That's my worry. I haven't run 10Ks for a long time. Now I expect to go to the Comrades and win it. Hardly likely. Mostly it's actually common sense if you think about it. It's our want principle often interferes. Okay, trying to a bit of common sense. It's here. It's a fantastic thing to do, and it gives you total freedom once you've mastered it. But you've got to get to that stage to do it. That's why partner law firms put a lot of hard work to get that fantastic salary. Didn't walk in off the street and get it, clearly. And you've got to understand a little bit, not just blindly follow. There's plenty of apps give loads and loads of trade signals, rather than anybody good or not, yeah? That's discipline there. So Chris used some discipline there. He's quite right. And percentage, not amounts. So I want to make 1,000 rand a month. Well, Chris has got 20 million. He wants 1,000 rand a month. That's ridiculous. But Chris says, no, he's only got 1,000 to make 1,000 rand a month. It's impossible. Got to work on percentages, absolutely. And be disciplined, absolutely. And learn a bit so you can analyze. I see that, but I think I'll hold off on that one. You might not want to take the trade. Only kidding, just using an example. Okay, guys, at least learn some stuff, even though we didn't get a trade. I'm hoping we'll get stuff going. Obviously, see you guys at 3, but hope we're going to get tomorrow, we're going to get some action. I really hope so. And Chris, with me, great, the goodness gracious, we get a disparity between the action expected coming out later on. We want a sodding direction. Praying for it. I hope it's bullish, but it might be bearish. I don't care, as long as we get a direction. Okay, guys.
I hope there's a nice differential. It's also nice and inspiring for the new guys,
Absolutely. A big differential, but good for the older guys, the newer guys. will get a nice taste of it, and it'll put them in a good mood, and they'll be happy chappers as well. But one thing, Chris, I have to say, we often get about 80, 90, sometimes 100, well, we max 100, but some more want to go in or whatever. And I tell them about the trade room, the early moments. Please join them. Amazing how many people don't. And I don't think it's just because of lack of time. I mean, if you've got a terrible toothache, you go to the dentist, you say, no, why is the dentist open at 7 in the evening and knock off work? No, you get time off to go to the doctor, the dentist, because you've got a problem. Well, you've got a financial problem. You need to find time to go and do it. But people still don't do it, and they still make basic mistakes. And I mean, half of them come in to understand what they mean by margin calling. And that's why that's my worry. You know what I mean, Chris? Hey, it's frustrating. Hey,
I had a client that built his house and stuff across the road from where I'm busy, and I heard from his brother. He's a big trader. Now, I like to talk to different traders to find out their different styles, where they trade on, what they trade. Like him, for example, he trades a lot of sugar and wheat and Bitcoin, things like that. And what he said to me, he says, you know, you got to treat this like a business. You have to. In the beginning, he used to set himself about 2-3 hours a day. Now he can do that in half an hour because he can obviously read charts and stuff better. But he said if you can treat it like a business, you have to dedicate a certain amount of time to it every single day. So I do that now, even in my other business. Even if I'm on a construction site, I put my headphones on and I just listen to your guys' classes while I'm doing my other work so that I keep up to date. So at least I'm dedicating time to it every day. And like today, I'm not on site, so I'm in the office, so I can get more involved. But yeah, you've got to put that guy.
You got that guy. You got to put the graft in. You got to put the discipline. Your friend there's quite right. They call them softs. If you ever talk about the softs, SOFTS, that's the called agricultural futures, by like soybeans, orange juice, grain, wheat, whatever, hogs bellies. They call the softs, by the way, just so going forward. We don't have them on here, but they're extremely, extremely volatile. Stick to what you got here before you start covering that. And you get things like limit down where you can't get out the market. Funny things can happen on there, especially soybeans. That's another story anyway. But discipline, etc. And that's exactly it. And you're quite right. You said experience. I mean, I can look at something pretty quickly. That's experience and practice. Pick one out. I go down there, GBP CAD, and I can form an opinion almost instantly because that's practice. When you're starting, it takes a bit longer. That's what you got to do, and that's how you pick it up. But guys, hang on a minute. This looks like fun. I want to go full time. I've got 10,000 rand to play with. I want to make a good living out of it, and that's it. Having about 1 week's experience. No, I'm not going to make you a partner of my financial bloody conglomerate with 1 week's experience. No. Okay.
Another guy also said to me, he said, you know what? If you want to make this a successful business, get off the TV, get off the TikTok, get off all those things that you spend hours a day on. Pick up a book or start learning online and study. Study, and you'll become better.
Knowledge, power, as they say. But remember, guys, where do you get your study from? Make sure you get it from reputable sources. There's a lot of BS out there. Social networks are not renowned for their, shall we say, accuracy, put it that way. So be careful of social networks. If you like them, it's all good fun to see the nonsense on there. But it's a bit like People magazine, a relaxing read, but it's not where you get your information from. So be careful of that and read between the lines. Remember, there's a lot of BS out there. Just be careful of it. Absolutely. Okay, guys, run over a little bit, but I think it's important stuff. And catch you at 3. And I'm glad you picked up stuff, even though we didn't get any trades out. And we'll see if we can get something decent going for 3 o'clock today. Catch you there, mates. Guys, everybody there. Cheers. Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Cheers, all.
Cheers. Cheers, guys. That's also true. Anything new, practice on the demo.